In this video, I'm going to show you how Alex Hormozi used business credit to keep his business alive. Now, if you have no idea who Alex Hormozi is, he's an entrepreneur with a company called acquisition.com, valued over $250 million, at least at the time of this recording. Now, he refers to this concept as a limited funding, which is how he used to scale his gym business at the time to multiple locations. So I'm going to roll the clip of where he breaks this down. I'm going to link that video down below as well. And then we're going to dive into how you can implement this in your own business. Let's get right into it.
We may have upsells and downsells and continuity and future things that we're going to sell, but none of that matters to the small business owner who doesn't have cash. And so the reason it's 30 days is because that's the amount of time that you can get interest-free financing. All right. So if you have a credit card, people will extend you money for 30 days interest-free. That means if you paid off in the first 30 days, you can pretty much take unlimited money. All right. For the most part. Now you pay your stuff off, you get bigger limits, whatever. But the point is, and this is literally how I started my second business, is that I would use my cards, I'd put the money on the card to acquire the customer.
All right, so that's essentially how he was able to not just keep his gym business alive, but how he was ultimately able to grow his gym business at will. I'm going to pin that video down in the description. A lot of golden nuggets in there. If you wanted to catch the whole thing, highly recommend it. But this is how most people right here tend to run their businesses. Let me get my pen going. Most people, the way that they run their businesses is they'll have a product, and then they want to take their product. And by the way, this could also be a service. So we can say a little S in there for service. They take their product or their service and they take it out to the marketplace to people, right? These are all little people that they take their product and services out to. But what ends up happening is that you have to wait for these people right here to transact with the product or the service that you bring into the market so that you can redeploy more capital. This is essentially the point that Alex was driving home in that video. And so when they pay you, money doesn't trickle in completely. Money starts to trickle in like this, a little here, a little here. You have a few extensions of a couple payment plans that kind of goes over. You have maybe one here, and then you can redeploy that capital that you have back into your business, right? So it's not a house, it's a business. The issue with this, and I think that Alex did a really good point of driving this point home, was this is really slow, because as you see, you're having to wait to get a customer to pay you so that you can then continue the process, versus if you have that same product or service and then you have the capital that essentially bridges the gap for you to bring it into market. So again, these are all people right here, right? And so they all represent transactions, dollars that you're making. You then have what's called a conversion or a cash conversion cycle. So you have a cash conversion cycle. And he wasn't the person that came up with this, neither am I. This is just business 101. Like, we learned this term back in micro and macroeconomics, which is cash conversion cycles. And so what this means is for every customer that you get, you're able to get that customer to pay for a future customer. So the strategy that Alex used was he figured out, what if I just put this on a credit card that allows me to carry this balance for the next 30 days? So instead of having to wait for these customers to pay me, I can just front load, and I'm going to just use a number here. This isn't what he used. He used more than this, but I'm going to use 10K from that limit that I have to front load all of my marketing so that I can get those customers that are going to be coming in from the eyeballs that I'm converting into paying customers, so that they can then liquidate the spend that I have. They're now inside of my database, inside of my ecosystem, and I can then upsell them, cross-sell them, downsell them, if they qualify for maybe a lower tier package, whatever that is. And by the way, this isn't just for service-based businesses. I'm just giving you the example based on the video. Really quickly, if you're looking to get access to business capital in a predictable and sustainable way, the same way that Alex did, so that you can continue to grow your business and your operations, tap where it says InsideInnerCircle.com, pinned as the first comment. Book a call with our team. We'll take a deep dive where you're at, where you're looking to go, and see how we can help you get there. I'll see you on the other side. Let's get back into the video. So there's three main reasons why people that use business credit are able to move at a much faster pace than people who are just trying to save their way to, let's say, $50,000 to deploy into their marketing, or people that are trying to wait for a customer or a deal or a contract to go through so that they can then go out and try to reinvest that capital. I'm going to use a page from Alex's book, which is what he mentions here, which is he used the front end acquisition to pay for future customers. Here's what that means. Rather than you staying there and waiting, let me go out, let me put $10,000 of my own money into a marketing campaign, and then let me wait to see how many contracts I can pick up, whether again it's service based, whether it's brick and mortar, like whatever it is, insert your business. By the way, this is agnostic. This works for any business across the board. He said, let me use the capital that I already have access to that isn't from my own cash reserves so that I can accelerate this process. Now, is there an aspect of risk to this? 100%. But if you're in real estate, if you're in business, if you're in the stock market, if you're in the banking world, if you're in the business world, if you're an entrepreneur, like you're in the risk game. The whole point of this is that you want to play with the capital that you have, which with as much downside as possible. One of the ways that you do this is, again, what Alex used, which is front end acquisition. So he was able to essentially get the capital, and each customer that came in, that came with 2 or 3 additional customers attached to them due to some of the upsells and cross sells that he had, that was cooked into the offer that he had built, it was able to pay down the bill. So everything outside of the future offers that he was making and the future deals that he would have with that same client or with the same prospect was gravy. And so this is called increasing the LTV. The second upside to using business credit versus just using your own reserves or even your personal credit cards is the following. You're able to get access to bigger capital lines, meaning if all you had in your account was $5K, that you can deploy out into your business in hopes to bring you more customers, in hopes to land you a better deal. Like insert whatever that outcome is that you're looking to get. But you have a 20K line and it has a 0% attached to it, meaning for the next 12 to 18 months, and this is something that Alex didn't mention, but I want to mention it on here because he was working off of 30-day cash conversion cycles, which is fantastic. For some of us, we may have a longer conversion cycle. Like if you're in real estate and you know that it maybe takes you 60 to 90 days based on where your market is to get in or out of a deal, that at that point, your cash cycle is going to be longer than 30 days. That's just the name of the game. But with business credit cards, you usually have anywhere between 9 to right around an 18-month period that you have 0% interest that you'll pay on it. So it'll just be 100% on the principal, no interest. So a real world example of this is, let's say you put $1,000 into your business from the business credit card that you have at the 0% threshold because you're still within that intro period. Typically, you'll pay anywhere between 3 to 5% of what the total balance is that you use. So let's say you use up the whole $1,000 on it, right? You're only going to be paying back right around $50 a month. Now, if obviously it takes you a little bit longer to float that bill so that on the back end, you're able to liquidate it and then sell your way out of a deal or get a customer that then pays for it, it's a win-win situation because you're just paying $50 a month. Again, using the $1,000 example to remain current with the credit card statement that you have. If you don't have a business right now where you don't know how you're going to come up with your next deal or you don't know how you're going to come up with your next customer, then using this type of capital strategy may not be the best approach because this is for people like me and you who are in the business space, in the real estate space, that are looking to not just get access to capital, but also looking to take risk. The way that you build upside, meaning the way that you end up growing a business, is a direct correlation of how much downside you're able to create on the investment that you're making. That's number one. And number two, how much risk you're able to stomach during that season where you're waiting for the cash flow conversion cycle to close. Third reason why using business credit is such an accelerator is because most people rely on personal credit, especially when they're trying to get an idea off the ground or where they're kind of just dabbling around. This is an issue, and I actually see this at scale with a lot of entrepreneurs that we take on as clients, that even though they've been in business for a couple of years, they're still using personal credit. And it blows my mind because if you have, let's say, a $50,000 project, and let's say you have a 25K line on a personal credit on one side, and you have another 25K line, a personal credit on the other side, when you go to use up either that personal credit card, that PLOC, that personal line of credit, or even a personal loan, it crushes your utilization. And so it ends up putting you into this vicious, I say, like cycle, a hamster wheel, where you have these fluctuations in your credit score, where you'll go from a 780 to a 720, 760 to a 620, 710 to a 640. You get the point, right? And so you have to constantly wait in order for you to either close your way out of a project or to collect the funds from a customer or client that you're transacting with in order for you to pay that balance off. But the issue that ends up happening is that because your personal credit takes a hit, the double whammy that I've seen with this is that if it stays in that threshold for an extended period of time, there's no like hard rule on this, there's no hard stop, then banks hold the right to reduce your limit. And so you essentially gave your business a budget cut without you intending for it to have that cut put into place to begin with. And so one of the ways that you can, again, remove and de-risk, which is the whole point of business credit, is you want to lower the downside, which is the beautiful part about business credit, is the balance that you carry on the business credit side, whether it's a business line of credit, business credit card, short-term loan, long-term loan, whatever it is, it's not going to reflect over on the personal side unless you're defaulting. But as long as you're making those payments on time, your personal credit stays exactly where it needs to be. That 750, 780, 800 plus. And so what ends up happening is you're able to scale the capital that you have on the business credit side, essentially indefinitely, and you're able to deploy a strategy like what Alex Hormozi was able to deploy in his own business that allowed him to essentially create a cash conversion cycle cooked into his business, or really baked into his business, that allowed him to essentially tap into business funding at will. You have it. If you found value in this content, share it with an entrepreneur who you know is going to need capital to continue to scale their business and their operations. If you're looking to get access to capital in a predictable and sustainable way, I would love to connect with you. Book a call with our team down below, insideinnercircle.com. It's pinned as the first comment. We'll deep dive into your business, see where you're at and where you're looking to go, and how we can potentially help you out and partner together. If that's you and that's what you're looking for, book that call down below. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.